kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost. Are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
From Daytona International Speedway, it's opening night here in the Outlaw Sim Series. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here, the A-Team back in the saddle again. Want to welcome everybody in and thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, because we're ready to get it on here tonight in the Outlaws Sim Series. Make sure that you stick with us all night long because we'll be with you every step of the way. From the green flag to the checkered flag right here on Sim Racing Media. And Alan, we got the band back together again, and what a night it is as we get ready to see this truck series turn them loose here at the 2.5 Mile Super Speedway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I am excited. You know, first and foremost, sorry I missed last week. We had some family matters to take care of. Some free, like, I'm just going to mention it right now. I'm going to be taking that Exodus on the 21st of May to watch my boy graduate high school. So, you know, putting that out there. And
that just means that you're incredibly old, sir.
You're absolutely correct.
When you're old enough to watch your child graduate high school, you either had a child at, a very young age, and that hairline over there, that tells me otherwise, bud. Well, listen, we've got some great racing ahead tonight. That first heat is gridding up now. 13 cars in heat number one. Let's take a look at the starting lineup as we get ready to go heat racing here. And we had this last week. We're going to do it again tonight after qualifying. Sets the first heat up this way. Kevin Thompson going to lead things off here on the pole position. He'll be joined in the front row by the driver of the double natural in the 77, that Chevrolet Silverado of Seth Berger. Joshua Reese and Anthony Hamilton going to be in row number 2, while row 3 is going to be held down by Gary Clune and Daniel Park. Adam Gardner and Ben Park going to be in row 4, while row 5 and rounding out your starting top 10 here in the first heat going to be Merlin Duran and Morgan Sterling. Doug Salmas and Max Service going to be in row number 6, and starting shotgun here in heat number 1 in 13th position is Brandon Combs. So 13 drivers scheduled to take the green flag tonight. This will ultimately set the field for the essentially Daytona 250, as we will be 100 laps when we hit that feature in just a few minutes. Kevin Thompson with control as they roll out of turn 2.
That iRacing.com pace car, bringing this field at a small crawl down the back straightaway. And, well, 13 hungry drivers. Last week meant nothing. This week means everything. Tell her go Cardinals.
I can't say what she said. I'll lose my FCC license. Kevin Thompson going to control the field here, taking the number 38 body armor Ford F-150 into turn 3. And, this 2.5 Mile Super Speedway was designed just for flat-out pedal-to-the-metal racing. We're going to see some really good drafting tonight, especially once every one of the cars, or trucks that is, gets on track for the feature. But right now, the 38 with control of the field. We're not going to do the big one yet, so we'll watch the iRacing.com pace car peel on down pit road. Kevin Thompson with control of the field sees the man in the grandstand. He's got the green flag in his hand, and off we go at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, shorter heat than what we're going to see all summer long, but nonetheless, here we go. Green flag as Seth Berger and Kevin Thompson, leads the field. Just like you said, it's going to set the field. So pick up those positions often and early.
Kevin Thompson here on the low side getting a really good run. We're going to widen things out here to the blimp cam. Check this out. He's getting a nice push from Joshua Reese in the one machine. But all of a sudden, the double natural of Seth Berger getting a good run here into turn 3. You're going to see that a lot, especially as the trucks. I'm going to do this. You would think that after doing an entire season of truck racing that I wouldn't do this. But after they get a really nice smooth exit off of turn 2 and down the backstretch, that top line is going to gain all kinds of momentum. Dropping. Oh, they're going to wreck.
Oh,
the Ford.
No.
Oh!
And the 77
And-
just did a Todd Bodine
Oof.
and rolled it on its lid.
Oof. Well, folks, this is how you wreck a race truck. We stay green flag racing. That cycles things. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to go back to that in a little while if we have time. I don't think we will. But Brandon Combs now takes over the race lead. He's going to be pushed along by Morgan Sterling. These were the drivers that were at the very back of the field. Remember, Brandon Combs started shotgun on the field. Now with 2 laps to go, those popsicle sticks are in the air, and all of a sudden we see those popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Brandon Combs with control over Morgan Sterling. There are literally just 4, 5, 6-ish not wrecked race trucks. Everybody else has at least a little bit of a scuff on them, but you can throw a blanket over these top 3. The 23 of Morgan Sterling looking to make the run here on the backstretch. He gets it as they come into turn number 3. Drivers getting ready to try to come down. We see them coming between 3 and 4. Off we go. Coming out of 4, it looks like the 28 trying to make a move. Whoa! The 56 looks high-low, but Morgan Sterling holds off to get the win here in heat number 1. We're not going to review those results. We're going to go back to the wreck that spawned just 3 drivers, and we're going to run this back just a hair. Now, what we saw, and this is kind of scary, I guess, if you're everybody else. But watch the 56. The 56 decides to slide the meat right between those buns there on the top and bottom. And everybody gets loose. The 4 goes to throw a block in front of the 56, and the 77 doesn't realize that the 4 is now in the middle. He thought he was still side by side. Hooks himself, essentially, and goes airborne in that race truck. So a tough end to heat number 1 for the 77. Thank God for the miracle of the miracle that is, if you will, virtual racing.
The reset button.
Yeah. Can we say fast repair? And we're just waiting for drivers to get off the track. I'm not sure why the racetrack hasn't reset itself other than Merlin Duran still out here trying to... There we go.
There we go.
As we get ready for heat number 2, let's take a look at this starting lineup. For your opening night of the Outlaws Sim Series, Aiden Giordano, he's going to sit on the pole position this time around. Kyle Lingerfelt, out of the DEI stable, he's going to sit to the outside pole on row number 1. Jeremiah Stutzman, out of the Sunshine State, he's going to be on the inside of row number 2 in the 88, while Ben Morrow in the 000 going to sit to the outside of row 2. Josh Fox is going to be starting in 5th position, while Forrest Hamilton starts in 6th. Row 4 held down by Matthew Byers and Matthew Setzer, while Adam Spear and Joshua Ballier round out your starting top 10, and rounding out the remainder of the field is Jonathan Byer and Devin Smith. So just 12 trucks to get started here. And as I had mentioned, I mean, that was just it was an ugly wreck for being, being just a heat race, but 3 laps on the board now as the iRacing.com pace car leads us off a pit road.
Yeah, here's the thing, too. The winner of Heat 1 will start on the pole. The winner of Heat 2 will start outside. Second will start third. Fourth, in Heat 1, those results. And then second here will start 4th, and third will start 6th. And that's the way the heat races work out here on iRacing and in this league. So the 21 truck of Gordino is, he's going to be on the pole for this one, and hopefully he can keep it there. So right now, we are down the back straightaway. Gordino, Lingerfeld on the front row. Morrow, Stutzman making up row number 2 as we get down in that turn 3-4 complex. Slowly but surely. 3 laps is the distance here in heat number 2. The second verse, same as the first.
Could be. The iRacing.com pace car leading us into turn 3 again. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I know that every lap counts and every lap matters, but I can't wait till we see this feature take off tonight. As we see all 12 of these trucks come through. Pace car lights are out. That means we'll have green flag racing in just a moment. We're going to see that pace car. It's strange that they have a pace car for the trucks and sometimes a truck for the race cars. The green flag waves and we're underway at Daytona International Speedway. 3 laps here in this heat.
Much cleaner start than heat number 1. Lingerfeld's going to get out to that all-important jump.
They're 3 wide behind him. Watch the 7 here of Joshua Ballier. Ballier deciding that he wants to take his life into his own hands early. He's got the 94 of Matthew Byers to the low side, that 5 spot of Matthew Setzer on the high, and he thinks all of a sudden he thinks he's smarter than the average bear, and he is. Oh my. Bring me
I would have
my
got an
brown
angry
pants.
I would have got an angry text from you.
You're darn right you would. What are you doing? But I guess maybe I've got a lot to learn about this league as we see Ballier holding on now. He's swapping positions with Adam Spear as we come into turn 1 and 2. The popsicle sticks are in the air. We're 2 laps to go.
Yeah, that 21 truck out to a nice little lead there with the 88 truck right behind him in tow. And I mean, these guys are really good at drafting right here. And just wow, this is amazing. I did get to watch the race last week, but from what I'm seeing here in Heat 2, these guys are really good racers.
For everything that I saw, they certainly are. As we come back through the Geico restart zone, the popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air, and we're wrecking back to checkers. All of a sudden, I think everybody in the field has been affected by this. The deuce of Josh Fox is scurrying away like he stole it. Aiden Giordano still leads this race, but all of a sudden jumping up after that mayhem is Jonathan Byer. Byer getting a major push from the nickel. Watch the 5, Matthew Setzer navigates around the 21 and blows the doors off of Aiden Giordano. In the Outback Steakhouse Chevrolet Silverado, and now the 13 of Jonathan Byer leads this piece. He's got Setzer behind. The question is, does Setzer think he has what it takes to get around? Let's watch Setzer as we come into the tri-oval. He doesn't have a chance. And it looks like Jonathan Byer going to be our race winner here in heat number 2.
What a fun race to watch here. I wonder if Aiden Giordano wins the race tonight. Is it like when Ryan Newman had the Outback sponsor and on a 39 car, we get free bloomin' onions?
I mean, that's fine. I'll gladly take that. Don't eat them as leftovers, though. Not a good choice. Not at all.
No, I feel like they marinate in their own grease.
They do. And then you get to marinate in your own grease afterward. Take a look at this coming through here. These drivers thought they had it all figured out. And, what a flaming pile of mess. Watch the 65 here of Lingerfeld. Just gets hammered. So another rough finish to a heat race here. Now we've just got to wait for everything to wrap up, and all of a sudden, just like that, We're ready to rock and roll. Let's take a quick look at our race conditions. 72 degrees in the stands, but under that clear sky, that track temperature is 90 degrees, and then we're going to see a lot of change there. We're going to see these trucks really loosen up. We're going to see those track temperatures raise as well as we get in here tonight.
I tell you what, I do love a good Daytona race.
You know I do. I do love me some Daytona. And here we are with our first starting lineup of the regular season here in spring 2025. Morgan Sterling going to be on the pole position, joined by Jonathan Byer. Adam Gardner and Matthew Setzer going to take off here in row number 2. Row 3 is Brandon Combs and Aiden Giordano, while Max Service and Joshua Ballier hold things together here in row number 4. Rounding out your starting top 5 is Joshua Reese and Forrest Hamilton, with Doug Solmus and Adam Spear starting in 11th and 12th. 13th goes to Kevin Thompson, with Matthew Byers starting to his outside in 14th, while Gary Clune and Kyle Lingerfeld going to be in row number 8. Row 9 is Daniel Park and Ben Morrow, with Anthony Hamilton and Josh Fox just behind. Seth Berger and Ben Park hold things down in row number 11, while Jeremiah Stutzman and Merlin Doran going to be, I'm going with Duran. I should have asked for a pronunciation. We're going to go with it tonight, Duran. They're going to be in row number 12, and starting shotgun, and just kidding, starting from the pits, it appears, is going to be Devin Smith.
Duran's hungry like the wolf.
So that starting top 5 going to be Sterling, Byers, Setzer, Gardner, and Combs. As we get ready to roll. Feels good to be back here in the saddle in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth for another new league here on Sim Racing Media. You can check us out online, folks. Check out our Facebook page. Shoot us a message if you have a league that needs to be broadcast. And believe me, they all should be broadcast because it makes me money. What, did you think I did this out of the goodness of my heart?
I mean, we get to hang out together, so.
I feel like at that point it's like doing community service for helping the mentally, you.
What's the score of the Cardinals game right now?
Wow, what a stretch from the first, but you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. It's not good, is what it is. But wow, what a stretch from your first baseman. I'm impressed. I haven't seen a guy stretch like that since that one time at Studio 54 in 1985. The iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road, folks, and right here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, we only do it one way. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, and off we go in 2025.
100 laps, and they're already 3 wide, Dave. I mean, 2x2 stacked up inside, outside, and, well, don't want to get away too quickly.
A lot of drivers starting to drop back here early on in this race. Of course, already we see the 38. He was a little tangled up earlier in that initial mess. But whoa! The 5 gets loose, hits the apron, and kisses the wall. He's going to grind against it like it's a club. And then we start wrecking. We stay green. We go yellow.
Caution.
Holy Christmas. He was grinding that wall like a kid at prom night. While my partner picks his jaw up off the floor, let's take a look here and see what happened with Matthew Setzer. This actually is going to be a lot further before the green flag flew. And here's why. We're going to, or not the green flag, but let's see if we can find a little bit better of a, of course, now timing and scoring trying to hijack the broadcast. Let's take a look here from the blimp, and maybe we can find a little bit better of an angle. There it is. There's the tag from the 21. That sends the 5 into the wall. And he went to slow down, and You know, don't get me wrong. Usually, rule one when you're wrecking is get on the brake, get on the brake. Hey.
I think you use the wall as a brake.
Yeah. Kind of like when you go to an amusement park and they have those brakes for the roller coasters that come up and just rub against you.
Yeah, I mean, look, if that was at the X Games, he would have got the record for grinding on a skateboard at the X Games.
A little bit. So that's gonna change the way that things look here getting started. Aiden Giordano, who started back in 6th position, he shuffled his way up into the lead, just behind the iRacing.com pace car. Jonathan Byer going to be rolling off in 2nd. Pace car lights are still on. So we're going to have another parade lap here. Want to welcome everybody into the YouTube.com live chat. Mark Berger saying roll 77. Looks like max service and literally everyone from 10th through 25th is going to go ahead and get pit service.
Oh, boy.
Vinny
Not only
Giordano
did
said the 5 wasn't clear, blocking on lap 1 is not smart. Whew. That is expert analysis. You know, and to Vinny's point, and let me say this, to Vinny's point, at the beginning of these opening races of the season, everybody's a little bit jittery. It wasn't a smart decision because in that first race, you know, you're trying to make as many big moves as you can, as soon as you can, and you know that's letting your nerves get in the way. I think Vinny nailed that one right on the head.
I think he did too.
Let's take a look here and see what Joshua Ballier is still doing on pit road. Nope, just rolling off. I just heard someone's engine pop down here on pit road.
It wasn't mine.
That can only mean that someone's fun meter's been pegged for the night here on opening night.
Yeah, you don't want to have too much fun here at Daytona.
Matthew Byers has laid the fast time down at 1 minute 34 seconds, .84.
Well, the 5 wadded it up on the track, and we wadded Alan up in the broadcast booth, so we have that kind of effect.
Lined up side by side, Aiden Giordano, Jonathan Byer, Morgan Sterling, Forrest Hamilton, and Adam Gardner, your top 10. Adam Spear, Matthew Byers, Brandon Combs, Joshua Reese, and Gary Clune make up your top 10.
Well, we're gonna try it again. Second verse, same as the first. This time, different players. Well, you know, the front row didn't change, but you know, Morgan Sterling and Forrest Hamilton Jr. on that second row there.
A lot of drivers taking as much time as they could to get service down on pit road to see how much repair they can have done. You know, it makes for a psychotically long night when you get in an early incident here at Daytona. I mean, first of all, especially once you can't turn the RPMs that you started the race with and you can't keep up with the draft, you're essentially just driving in a big, big circle all night, 2.5 miles at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I've been on the tail end. I've been there before.
I've seen you. Go ahead here and keep a close eye on Aiden Giordano, who's going to have control of the field. We don't get near as excited for a restart, but I'll tell you this much, we're ready to rock and roll. Giordano comes into the Geico restart zone. He drops the hammer, and off we go on lap number 4.
Green flag is back out and waving. We essentially have, well, 90 laps to go.
95.
If my math doesn't math.
Yeah, no, your math more so meths. I think I saw your math teacher with a spoon and a needle down at the train station.
No, he lives in a van down by the river.
That's fairly accurate. There's one of those down there, too. Just off to my right-hand side, your left. The 21 now getting a good run from Morgan Sterling just behind the low line, filling in nicely. Here in the early goings of a run, we're going to see that low line really command a lot of the speed, but toward the end of that run, that's when we'll start to see more momentum from the high side. And here comes the 13 of Jonathan Byer, who capitalizes on a shovel move from the 99, drops down as the... Ha! Well, folks, let's get it out of the way now. The number 99 OnlyFans Toyota Tundra. And kids, if you're wondering what OnlyFans is, it's why your mom's angry at your dad.
Yeah.
All it took was one bank statement, and next thing you know, Dad was on the couch. I love it. I think that's a fabulous sponsor. With the Micro Center machine just behind. And by the way, Micro Center, I'm fairly certain, is God's country. Do love me a good trip to the Micro Center. Right down the road in St. David's. Things pretty calm and collected for the time being, but at least from up here, let's ride on board now.
Oh, goodness.
Joshua Reese out of Mont Juliet. We're going to look out his rear. And he is going to have nothing but a window full of the... Wow, the 11 of Gary Clune and the 4 of Anthony Hamilton. Good gravy. Now on board with the 95 of Devin Smith out of Chambersburg, PA, representing the 717. That's the middle of the state for those of you that are out-of-towners. Not that it
I'm an
actually
out-of-towner.
matters. Oh, you're an out of this worlder. But Jonathan Byer has a nice lead here over top of the 21. Now the 21's going to get bumped from behind by the 99.
Well, I tell you what, Jonathan Byer's got 99 problems right now. But an OnlyFan ain't one.
But the lead ain't one. The lead ain't one, and we're going to go on board now with Forrest Hamilton, as you do, out of Newark. Somebody had said that they thought that this was Newark, Ohio, but I couldn't confirm it. Nobody helped me out, so let's watch
Newark,
the
New
99.
Jersey?
It's Newark, New Jersey, Newark, Delaware, and I don't know how they pronounce it in Ohio. Besides, Giordano getting a nice hit from the number 99 OnlyFans Toyota Tundra. Now we peek here to the inside as Jonathan Byer rides the low line right up against that double yellow line. And folks, remember, you can get below that double yellow line, but you can't advance your position. You can certainly give up a position if you get below that line, but you can't advance the position from down there, especially if you get some kind of a psychotic run coming out of 2 and down the backstretch. But we come out of turn 4 now. Back to the start-finish line. Lap 10 underway. Jonathan Byer, Aiden Giordano, and Morgan Sterling leading. And just to put this race into perspective, look at the gap from 20th at Lingerfeld, now Fox, at 1.3 seconds. 1.3 seconds is like a snap. A snap.
It is.
These trucks are moving so fast, so crazy. I mean, Lingerfeld's doing a $190 going into turn 3. Giordano's the one that I'm paying attention here in the 20. I'm sorry, Morgan Sterling in the 23. Watch the speed that the 23 is going to get the next run down the backstretch, because this is impressive, Alan.
Yeah, this is very impressive, and I mean, just a step. I mean, it takes me 3 minutes to get out of my seat here, but it's taking these guys almost less than 3 seconds. You know, snap of the hand to get around. You know, to close in on each other. And there's a speed 180 on exit. Wow. Down the straightaway, 184, 185, almost 190 miles an hour in the draft.
They touched 188 coming down to turn 3. Now, the front stretch is just a little bit longer, but and you can get that slingshot effect coming through the trial, but it's just not very easy to do. As we work here on lap number 12, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here. I'm Dave Regal, and he's Alan Bergen. You're watching opening night activities here on Sim Racing Media. We appreciate everybody tuning in and making us a part of your evening.
Yeah, unfortunately, Matthew Setzer will win the race at the beer stand, only completing a half a lap. And, well, the other half, Ben Park will finish second to the beer stand, finishing a full lap.
I do like that where it says announcers at the bottom of the screen, I got it to turn red and white. Go Phils, go Cards. In fact, if the Cardinals wanted to get on the bus right now and leave Philadelphia, that'd be okay. We're here in the top of the 7th, getting ready to stretch in South Philadelphia. Jonathan Byer leads the way. He's had control for quite a long time. We're going to go on board here with Gary Clune in the number 11 FedEx machine, that Denny Hamlin lookalike. And it looks like Gary Clune is from Turnersville, New Jersey. Perhaps one of my fellow Phillies fans. Yeah,
Maybe.
if he has any class.
I can't confirm that there is a city of Newark in Ohio. And
Got no idea.
guess what county it's in?
Go for it.
It's in Licking County.
Yes, my sister and her girlfriend.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jonathan Byer taking the lead here on lap 14. 13 laps in the history books as we come down to get, well, lap number 14 in the history books here.
Jonathan Byer leads the way. I have now broken my partner while he collects himself. You folks didn't even hear what I was doing.
No, you did that on lap 1.
That's fair. Here we are watching the number 3 Nilla Wafers Ritz Chevrolet Silverado. I'll tell you what, that looks really sharp. And I love me, a good Fig Newton. Talk about a good bowel movement with them. We've got a lot of activity here. Uh-oh, the 04 with a connection issue. Adam Spear blinking in and out.
I mean, the only thing that 3 Truck didn't sell was the windshield.
Seems to be fairly accurate. Can't see who that is just behind. Let's see. Josh Fox and the Deuce. Nope.
Wait, is that Gold Peak?
Yeah, it's Gold Peak. There it is.
Oh, the best fee ever.
Nutter Butters. I guess, I mean, if that was on the 99, it would be Nutter Busters. Tell you what, guys, if you're looking for free airtime here on Sim Racing Media, give me a crazy paint scheme. Or check out last year's Tuesday Night NASCAR Truck Series to see how those guys were getting themselves free airtime.
With the Spirit Airlines?
That was the one. That entire team
boy.
painted their trucks that way.
It said, "Howdy, Dave."
I meant weren't Lindsay. It got to say Howdy Lindsay. No, it was Howdy Honey Buns.
Yes.
Good people over there.
I mean, I think the outside line has a recurring theme for you. I mean, you got the 21 truck, which is sponsored by Outback, the 99 truck, which is sponsored by OnlyFans, and, well, the Micro Center truck bringing up the rear. So maybe you take your OnlyFans out to Outback Steakhouse, and you have to go get Micro Center to get a new computer.
You watch OnlyFans out back while you try to get your Micro Center moving. That outside line, in all honesty, though, that outside line's really starting to gain a good bit of momentum here. 18 laps in the books. A lot of people are lined up here on the inside, and I think to some degree that might be affecting the aero push for the rest of that low side. But the 13 of Jonathan Byer now getting a nice run out of 2 and down the backstretch, out of the 23. The 94 of Matthew Byers now in that City Chevrolet, just behind the 56 of Adam Gardner, holding himself in line so far, doing really well at it, as the Mississippi native gives a nice, cute little bump here going into the tri-oval. And I'll tell you what, that's a really respectful thing to do. The worst thing that you can do in a place like this is bump somebody in the tri-oval.
You know, and that's the thing too. Is I found that as a driver, if you can square up on the truck in front of you, you can push them around this racetrack, because the noses on these trucks are relatively flat and they're relatively the same, same look and whatnot. So you can definitely push these guys around the track. You'll have to cool them off though. But these trucks will get hotter than a spicy burrito at Taco Bell.
Bob Nestor and Barrett Coffey taught me a lot about drafting in these trucks. I mean, watching the two of them, being under the two of their tutelage was a great learning experience. Feel free to check them out on, oh my gosh, you know what? Barrett might not even have any film in the old Tuesday Night NASCAR library, because I think he was gone before we migrated them over to Sim Racing Media. Very well could be. Great guy. Performer in Nashville, as a matter of fact. Personal friend of mine. Jonathan Byer, Morgan Sterling, and Aiden Giordano, they're going to be your top three for the time being. The 99 now of Forrest Hamilton Jr. He gets his Toyota Tundra wound up just behind the 21. And I'm just saying that things are starting to look a little bit hairy here for the 04. I don't know if he's intentionally dropping back or if drivers are encouraging him to drop back.
They might be encouraging to drop back. There's nothing worse than when a car has connection issues. It makes it almost impossible to race around them. Maybe that 04 truck of Anthony Hamilton, maybe the 04 truck needs to make a trip to Micro Center of Adam Spear.
Very well could be. Watch them come down this backstretch here. Side by side they go. An impressive formation. And I'll tell you what, I've said this a million times. I love the look of the trucks as they come down here. And they kind of do that snaky thing where they wave back and forth like organized chaos. I absolutely love it. And, we're going to be together all season long, folks, so get yourselves comfortable. It's happening. This just happens to be my favorite place in the world next to any baseball field.
Is this like your Disneyland? I mean, outside of the Phillies spring training home.
Yeah. Yeah, I shed a tear every time I sit at the ballpark. In all seriousness, Reading, Pennsylvania, home of the AA Eastern League Reading Fighting Phils. I could shed a tear every time I'm there and sing the hot dog polka. Did I send you that video, by the way?
You did. You actually got me into polka music with Jimmy Sturr.
Well, tune in every Sunday morning on 105.5 WMGH with Polka Joe Manjack and the Magic Polka Machine. You can check out the 105.5 WMGH app on your Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And
I have it downloaded.
And every morning on the 8th, you can hear my dulcet tones deliver the news.
Well, right now, Forrest Hamilton is out to the lead, and right now he don't have any fans. Brandon Combs might be his only fan. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. It seems to be a pretty exclusive group that everybody's invited to. Forrest Hamilton Jr. in the OnlyFans machine is the only man on top as we start to see that outside line form up a little bit. And, you know, that's something that we've got to watch. Here is now the 81 of Max Service. Oof. Service and OnlyFans. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Isn't that where they caught Robert Kraft down in Florida getting serviced?
Yeah.
Let's find out where Max Service is from here. Oh, probably good. Thank goodness he's not from Florida. Could be a problem.
Parts unknown.
Kevin Thompson letting a lot of space between himself and the 39. I'm sorry, the 77. Berger now maybe checking up a little bit to hang back.
Boy, I love these trucks on this track right now.
They are all just foot mashed all the way through the floorboard, and we are 25 laps in the books.
Quarter of the way there.
Without a doubt, Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and making us a part of your evening. Let us know in the YouTube.com live chat who you're cheering for and what you want to see tonight. As, wow. Did you see that? Byers deciding to be real sketchy and slide up there. Hey. You know, I'm suddenly hungry for roll burgers.
I can tell you right now that the I'm not going to spoil it for you. You know, here's the thing, Dave. Is well, for 162 games a year, we're frenemies. Until our two teams get together, then we're bitter enemies until after the series is over.
I mean, you know, here's the deal. It is, oh, we've got green flag pit stops ready to rock and roll. Watch them come. I thought, whoa!
Oh, no!
The 13 of Jonathan Byer got all kinds of sideways.
Skirt the wall. Kissed it. Get a little smoochy smooch.
We're going to run that back. Just locked those rear brakes up a little bit too much and brought the rear end around.
I mean, you couldn't hit the abort button because the 23 car was there.
Is that legal in Florida? Asking for a friend. Forrest Hamilton Jr. Oh! Now the 99 is sideways. And so
now,
is the 75.
Now Forrest really doesn't... Now he's got to be like Forrest Gump and just run.
Let's take a look at that.
His only fan is not a fan no more.
Woo! Looked like my kid was playing with Matchbox cars down here. Another group of cars coming off of pit road, onto pit road. It's going to be Max Service, Joshua Ballier, and Seth Berger atop the pile. While we get through this green flag pit cycle, we're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Riegel, he's Alan Bergen, and this is the Outlaws Sim Series.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Dave Riegel and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. You're watching the Outlaws Sim Series, Truck Series, right here on Sim Racing Media. Opening night at Daytona International Speedway, as I had mentioned. And Gary Clune in the 11 leads the way. He's followed by Kevin Thompson, Brandon Combs in your top 3. Green flag pit stops just concluded, so we've got about let's just say another 25 laps before we see it again.
I'd rather see green flag pit stops than caution flag pit stops. As well, here we are at Daytona, and there is Anthony Hamilton, or Forrest Hamilton rather, in that 99 truck trying to get his lap back the hard way. As he is third in that outside line, 1 lap down. But so far, out of 33 laps in the history books, and these guys are racing fairly respectfully.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it at all. These guys have done a really nice job all night long. Side by side. The 95 a little bit loose here coming into 1 and 2.
There's a gap, and most times in the public forum or even in other leagues, if there's a gap like that, you're going to have guys go try to fill it. But, you know, that's definitely going to hurt that inside line as they try to get organized with that huge gap there. It's going to almost slow those front two trucks down. Gary Clune battles his way back to the inside line, or battles the inside line back up to the front. Live from the drone shot there, and he's got Brandon Combs to his outside. I mean, this is almost like traffic, you know, I-95 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at 188 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're side by side, bumping one another along. And the 95 and the 28 are going to bump up uglies here into 3 and 4. My goodness. I mean, Ballier here in the 7 is all over the rear bumper of the 81, but he's got a little bit of a gap right now with Joshua Reese, who rides back here in the 1 machine out of Mount Juliet. Brandon Combs, Devin Smith, and Gary Clune lead the way. We're riding on board with Joshua Reese out of Mount Juliet. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We want to welcome everybody to opening night here in the Outlaws Sim Series Truck Series at Daytona. You know, there aren't too many leagues that don't start their seasons at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a status quo to start your league at Daytona. Right now, Brandon Combs in that 28 truck out to the lead, and he's got Devin Smith right behind him. That inside line gaining momentum and gaining speed.
Watching these drivers work their way around the racetrack has been impressive all night long. I mean, you know, nobody's being disrespectful, so to speak. Nobody's getting ugly. They are just out here racing really well, and at this, for my money at least, also really hard. They're doing a great job keeping it between the navigational beacons and not creating problems tonight. You know, I don't want to say that thing that we're not going to talk about, but, I mean, overall, I think they've done a really nice job. And I want to send Brandon Marsh directly to Single A.
Here we go. Brandon Combs out front with the lead. Devin Smith continues to ride right behind him. Gary Clune continues that outside line, keeps that moving. As my broadcast partner has a meltdown, and we have a yellow flag.
40 laps in and only 2 cautions for the night, not bad. And by meltdown, if you mean ranting about somebody who just proved why I don't like him, you would be correct, sir. I would send him all the way down to Single A. I'm talking like Dominican Summer League Single A. Oh! The 3 hooks the 21. Nothing major, though. I mean, let's be honest. That could have been a lot worse had it been elsewhere in the pack. Let's watch this from Park's perspective.
Ooh.
Just a cloud of smoke, and the 3 scampers away with the 13 and the 2. So we're going to see our second caution of the evening.
There's that dreaded yellow flag out, but nonetheless, here we are. Almost halfway into this race. One out, bases loaded here in the top of the eighth. Cardinals leading 10-7 over the Philadelphia Phillies.
Obviously, your microphone's not muted because everybody hears you do it. Taking a look here, it looks like we're going to have at least, wholesale pit stops at 41 laps. They can't make it from here, so maybe they're trying to do this now in one more green flag lap. Let's see, at 25 brings them to 65. I guess pack it full of fuel? I don't know what the pit call is here and why. Let's see if we can get a hold of somebody. Anybody. Let's get a hold of Forrest Hamilton Jr. Seems like a fun one. Hey, Forrest, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, man, listen, first of all, you have become our favorite paint scheme of the night.
I appreciate it.
You. I have another question. Is it Newark, New Jersey, or Newark, Delaware that you are from?
Well, it was supposed to change. It's my original hometown is Newark, Ohio, but I currently live in Texas.
Ah, okay.
So it's supposed to change, and I guess it didn't update when I did all that.
That's fair. Listen, as long as we know that you're in Texas, the great state thereof. Oh, look, it was almost a grand slam. But listen, I'm curious about the pit call here tonight. Sorry, we're watching you literally have a Phillies fan and a Cardinals fan in the booth at the same time together. Anyway, quick question. So what's the pit strategy here? I mean, you've had a great night so far. The 99 has looked spectacular up atop the pile. What's the deal with coming in on 42 after just coming in 10 laps ago? I mean, you're still going to have to make 2 stops on fuel.
I was locked down, so I might as well come in and take the fuel with the rest of the guys. And now I'll be in the back because I'm back on the lead lap because I slid coming in the pit road and spun her out. But I got lucky enough to cycle with the leaders there.
Fair enough. Hey, listen, you get that lap back however you have to. You know, nobody needs to be a hero, especially when you've still got 58 laps to go. I was just curious because it looks like you guys, at least fuel-wise, you're still going to need 2 stops to get to the end.
Yeah, if you ride in the pack, though, you can get almost 3 laps saved. So this is going to be very interesting from this point out with all these guys trying to save fuel in the pack.
Well,
so
you guys
I wouldn't somebody makes it around.
Well, I mean, you guys have done a great job keeping it interesting. I mean, 43 laps, only 2 cautions at Daytona. I mean, and nobody's being aggressive. I mean, a tip of the cap to you down there, man. But good luck the rest of the way. It looks like you're going to be restarting in about 14th position in the OnlyFans ride. So good luck, and hopefully we see you on the other side.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That, of course, the voice of Forrest Hamilton, driver of the number 99 OnlyFans machine. And like we said earlier, kids, if you don't know what OnlyFans are, that's because that's why your mom's not talking to your dad. As we're going to move him back on down here into the Dakfu Enterprises machine. We appreciate the time. We've got to get to know a lot of these guys because, I mean, this is our first night here in this league, and it looks like they are single file for the restart?
Maybe. This is different. We haven't seen this since the old NASCAR style racing.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't figure this one out.
Well, remember the lap cars, the lead or the lap down cars back in the day were on the outside, and everybody else was on the inside. They're going it old school.
Yeah, that may be the rule that they're using here. The green flag flies. We're back underway here on lap number 44. Gary Clune with control of the field. And the field's scattering now. Yeah, it's not even Ben Mara up there. That's the 28 of Brandon Combs. He started on the outside. Everybody else went single file to the inside.
Weird, but okay.
Yeah, that's how people describe me usually.
They just shake their head at me. That's all they do.
Gary Clune now taking over the lead. He's going to be exchanging that for a few minutes with Brandon Combs. Let's get a little closer here to Combs in the Combs Cuts Chevrolet Silverado. A cut above, as the paint says. Gotta be honest, I'm pretty loyal to my barber. I'm probably understating it just a smidge. I'm psychotically loyal.
Does he call you if you're a day late?
No, but he has my haircut records, just in case something were ever to happen to him and I would need to transfer them, like what happened to Sheldon Cooper and Mr. D'Onofrio. The 56 of Adam Gardner now riding the high line just behind Kevin Thompson, giving me a good push here out of 4. Back onto the front stretch, we can start to see a lot of this energy starting to build up in that high side. A lot of drivers here just getting themselves wound up. And if they can tighten things up, they can really do some damage here.
Well, that 21 truck's trying to make some headway there on the top, but like they said, like Forrest Hamilton said, you know, you can save about 3 laps of fuel back there in the pack.
One thing's for sure, 2 things for certain. We will find out who the winner is here in about 54 laps. Anthony Hamilton leading the way here in the 4 machine. And as we take a peek back, let's look at the 45 of Merwin Duran. Duran here just behind the 3 of Daniel Park. And Park holding his own. No issues here as he looks back to Duran.
I tell you what, I'm not a big Newton fan, but I do like it on that truck.
Nope, I do love a good Fig Newton. Just in case you ever get slowed up. Helps you go.
What's your favorite Fig Newton?
The standard Fig Newton. I do
Well,
like the
appears
strawberry Newton. I do like the strawberry Newton, but I like about 6 Fig Newtons with a glass of milk. And if that doesn't break your colon loose, I don't know what will.
The third caution that comes out for the evening.
Caution number 3, searching back here to see what may or may not have transpired. Looks like Aiden Giordano involved in something. He had the race lead earlier. Oh, no.
Oh!
Oh, did the 99 make it through?
The 99 was able to save it.
Let's take a look at that from the 99's gyro cam. Or if you're Greek, it's a gyro. What a good save. He got out of the throttle and feathered himself right back in. That is some heads-up driving there for the 99 of Forrest Hamilton Jr.
And the whole field's coming down pit road.
Yeah, why not? Seems about right. Now here, they're still going to have to make one more stop. But you know, when everybody comes, you should too.
Unless your name's... I was saying, unless you're me and you just don't. And then you get angry text messages saying, pay it now, with all explanation points.
Yeah, let me peel back the curtain here, folks. My very good friend, my brother from another mother, Alan Bergen, right here next to me, has this habit when he's on the racetrack that he watches everybody else go down pit road, and it's like he forgets that he should too. And I was calling a race, I don't know, what was that, a year ago now? About a year ago, Racers Elite, and everybody came down pit road but Alan. And I texted him in big capital letters. I was very upset with him. Bonehead move of the race. Couldn't figure out why he got ran over like a squirrel on a busy street. Good Lord. I have yet to try this Zizal.
Yeah, we did get the Allen Experience Bonehead Move of the Race Award out of it, though.
We did. We were doing that for quite a while, too. We should pick that
I
up.
carried it on. I carried it on.
It's like
And
getting
the
Allen. You have to understand that the equivalent to the Alan Bergen or the Allen Experience Bonehead Move of the Race, you have to understand the equivalent to that is like the Stevie Wonder Art Award for painting. Just doesn't make sense.
It actually, so here, a little backstory while we're, doing Great Flag Pit Stops, if I could be afforded a minute. I was with Shane Cochran, our team member here on Sim Racing Media. We were calling the Icon Cup Series on Sunday nights, where you get to hear me yammer for another, 2.5 hours. And so John Ross took no tires. He was out of tires at Darlington, which is almost spells calamity. And he wrecks he hits the wall. And so I said, oh, John Ross wins the Allen Experience Bonehead Move of the race. And the Rocket, Zach Lockett, got offended by it. He called me out. So after explaining what it was to John Ross and Zach Lockett, he was no longer offended by it. I said, chill out. It's only a joke.
Completely unrelated. Carlos Hernandez comes to the hill. Just watching an overhead shot of the city of Philadelphia as they're coming back from commercial here on NBC Sports Philly. And gorgeous shot of the city. But for those of us that live in or around major U.S. cities, especially ones that are shown on TV, by the way, William Stark cheering on the 77. You ever look at a picture of the city that like that and you think to yourself, gee, if only people knew what was just beneath where that camera shot is.
Every day.
Right? Like, I feel like, I mean, I just said to Honeybun sitting here, I was like, can you imagine just below where that camera shot is taken, it smells directly like urine. We were down in DC over the weekend, and she was flummoxed by how clean their metro system is. And then Monday we were at the ballpark here for game 1 of this series. As Devin Smith going to come out of turn 4 into the Geico restart zone. Smith fires off.
He's looking for a hole. Lingerfeld not going to give it to him.
Waiting for that high line to form up. But anyway, coming back and then being at our ballpark on Monday night for the first game of this Phillies-Cardinals series, first thing we noticed was the distinct smell of urine in the subway instead of how clean it was in D.C.
Ask Daniel Krakeel about the St. Louis Welcoming Committee.
All right.
He's a St. Louis guy.
That's true.
So you're getting attacked mentally both directions.
Side by side they go here. 52 laps in the books. We're beyond the halfway point here. On a nice Wednesday night for the opening race of the Truck Series here for the Outlaws Sim Series. Right now, the 95 of Devin Smith being pushed along now by the 56 of Adam Gardner. Joshua Ballier is running in 9th position at the moment, and just underneath in P11 is Forrest Hamilton Jr. in the 99.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're still 2x2. I do like the way they do the cautions here in this league, where they got the second place driver on the outside all by himself. But here comes the vanilla wafer truck. Dan Park, he's shooting up the middle like a Dallas Cowboys running back, going up the middle on a run play.
Just being stopped immediately. And 3 wide. And all of a sudden, Ballier is the meat in that sandwich. He's just about at the left rear fender of the 23. He's got to run. He's going to have to slide that thing up if he doesn't want to run into trouble. He does. And Ballier gets right in front of Morgan Sterling. Ay! This isn't going to go well. Watch the 65 and the 94. The 94 you can't park there. There's not enough room. I don't want to be a know-it-all, but you cannot do that.
They did. They came through unscathed.
Oof. They got lucky as all get out.
Dan Parks got some extra fig in that Newton, and he's taking it to the outside to the front.
I wonder if that's why it's. I mean, I know what a fig is, and I do like figs. But why is it looking?
And Matthew Byers commanding that outside line like a general going to war. Meanwhile, back up there on that 23 truck of Morgan Sterling, forcing that outside line. And there's a gap forming between Agent Giordano and, well, that would be, I want to say Gary Clune. And nope, that's the one truck of Joshua Reese.
Getting some interference on my mouse right now. That didn't work. Fig Newtons are called Fig Newtons because they were named after the town of Newton, Massachusetts, where the Kennedy Biscuit Works, by the way, we'll get into that, who created the cookies, was located. The misconception is that they are named after Isaac Newton, but that is not the case. And the company's original name was the Kennedy Steam Bakery.
Very nice.
I'm now reading the history of Newtons. What could go wrong?
Ballier is going to take the lead here on lap number 57 in the 7 truck. Fire still right behind that 7 truck. Well, Dan Park is parking it on the outside.
Daniel Park is now charging toward the front row. Side by side they are here on lap number 58. Oh my, we're having some fun now.
Yeah, I was going to say there's more action than a Waffle House at 3 a.m. right now. These top 6 cars right now, they're going to start loving, touching, and squeezing.
Joshua Ballier leads the way. He's got the 3, the 94, the 21, and the 23 in tow as we work here on lap number 59 at Daytona International Speedway. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your evening, for welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And as we work here toward lap number 60, we're going to step aside and pay some bills one more time here on SRM. And we'll be right back with the Outlaws Sim Series Truck Series.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Joshua Ballier with control of the field here in the Outlaws Sim Series opening night at Daytona. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and making us a part of your night. Alan, this has been a pretty good race so far, and we're not done yet. We've had very limited cautions, 64 laps in.
Yeah, 3 cautions per cause tonight, but Ballier has just taken the lead and hasn't looked back. I wanted to say we're gonna have one more round of green flag pit stops before this thing's all said and done. So they still got that lingering in the back of their minds. But I think that last pit stop is gonna be a gas and go, not really a 4-tire stop, or taking tires at all, rather.
Yeah, this last stop is going to be one of those, hey, gas, go, get it moving. Uh-oh, contact back here. Of course, as soon as I stand up to stretch my legs a little bit, we have action deeper in the field. But so far, so good for most of these drivers. We got a chance earlier to talk to the driver of the 99, Forrest Hamilton Jr. Now, Forrest has been back here pretty much calm, but, well, folks, you can see that paint scheme, so that's exactly why we went there. Because I'm a 12-year-old boy at heart.
I feel sorry for. I don't know whether should I pray for you or should I pray for the gal that hangs out with you.
Nah, it's fine. I'll be fine. So I'm fine. I mean, you see something like that, you got to report it. Our job up here in the broadcast booth is to observe and report, and one heck of a job we are doing this evening. 66 laps in the books. Joshua Ballier, Matthew Byers, Daniel Park, and Aiden Giordano, Morgan Sterling, Joshua Reese, Evan Smith, Kevin Thompson, Adam Gardner, and Gary Clune. That's your top 10. And Gary Clune, if we go back here a little bit further, if we can. There he is. He is literally in a traffic jam at 185 miles per hour coming into the tri-oval. And these guys aren't giving a whole lot of space. I mean, there's plenty of room on the racetrack overall, but you can't flinch your wrist. If even if you let go of the wheel for a second, maybe to shake it out, get yourself a little bit of circulation there in the old hands, you're going to wind up in someone's window net.
That's what the cautions are for. But, I mean, as a driver, you hate seeing caution flags. That's why this thing's gone green as long as it has. We're nearing that 30 lap to go mark. Getting closer to the end, and I feel like I should go get some socks. I can sell some socks on OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's what they sell. That's what they sell there. Interesting fact here: Jonathan Byer just laid fast time down at 46.4 seconds. So deep into a tire run now. I mean, that's 18 laps in. No, almost 20 laps on these sets of tires. 20 laps and the times are still dropping. Makes me a little curious here. Maybe we should take a peek at our official race conditions. 94 degrees on the asphalt, 73 the outdoor ambient air temperature in the sim. So all things considered, if you look at it, we're going to see those times drop even further. These speeds are going to get absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. 32 laps to go here from Daytona, and Ballier is still leading the thing. He's been out front for quite a while, and I tell you what, Dave, he's just calm, cool, and collective, and so is Matthew Byers back there in that second spot.
Yeah, Byers has been holding on for a while. And, one of the things that we notice on super speedways is those guys that hang out in second, third, even as deep as sixth, they're the ones who suddenly make a ridiculous move toward the end of these races and try to steal one. Because right now, they're just keeping themselves relevant. They're in the conversation, but and they don't want to be an also-ran. They want to be a darn near one if they don't win. So, keeping yourself up here like Aiden Giordano all night long. I mean, he qualified in sixth, and now he's got himself into fourth. He led for a little while earlier on in this race. He's keeping himself relevant, for lack of a better term.
Oh, and you have to. I mean, it's just. I mean, I wouldn't even want to be in second right now as Dan Park takes over race lead. This is going to be the first time in probably 20, 30 laps that Joshua Ballier has not led this race.
Take a look here at Ballier in the 7 machine, the 3 and the 7 leading the way. He's got the 94 of Byers behind him. Ballier did have a long time leading this piece for at least a dozen and more laps. Now runs in P2, but the big mover of the night is our race leader at plus 16. That's Daniel Park. He qualified in 17th position and now leads the way. And you can't get any higher than 1.
Not even a +1, but here we are, the Fig Newton machine out front. I mean, definitely going to at least sell some t-shirts.
I like a good t-shirt sale. I do.
You know,
72 laps now.
I tell you what, if I make it back to the Prairie Dirt Classic this year, I'll have to get you a shirt and mail it to you.
It's a really cheap way of asking me for my address, you creep. All of a sudden, I'm going to be getting like your neighbor's toes one piece at a time.
It only makes you an accessory after the fact.
That's fair. As long as they don't charge extra for accessories like a car. Watching the 95 here of Devin Smith, this is getting, at least for my money, really interesting to watch here. Let's see Devin Smith work his way down. I just happened to see that the audio levels here really far off. Whoa, let's back that one up just a little bit. But Devin Smith has been trying to work his way back up, further into the pile. He qualified 22nd, now runs right here in 10th position. Jay Adams, 1127 in the YouTube.com live chat says, wreck the 7. So Joshua Ballier with some enemies here.
Oh, boy. I mean, already some enemies are not even out of race 1 yet.
I know it's hard to believe, but I know that there was a time before us here in this league. I do realize that the world does revolve around sim racing media.
Right now, we got a little over 26 laps to go. Coming to get 25 to go at the line here. You got to wonder when we're going to see these last rounds of green flag pit stops. Probably within the next, I don't know, lap or so. Maybe 5. Who knows?
Well, we're going to be seeing those last-minute pit stops probably in the next, I'm going to call it 10 laps. They're going to squeeze every drop of fuel out of these fuel cells in these trucks. I don't blame them. It's the opening night. You want to make sure that you've got a good representation as you boogie around this 2.5-mile super speedway in the Sunshine State. And right now, Daniel Park and Joshua Ballier working their way through the tri-oval. And these guys, you've got to understand that at some level, somebody's got to be able to start making deals. Kind of like certain people who live in certain addresses, perhaps in the District of Columbia, say, you got to make a deal. You've got to be able to work with other people in this sport, because if you can't get along with others, if you can't play well with others, the only thing you're going to do is wind up playing all alone by yourself.
Nobody wants that. Especially at Daytona.
Here they come down pit road. Your leaders, almost everybody comes down, with the exception of Stutzman, Combs, Lingerfeld, and Hamilton.
Park may have been a little bit fast.
Not going to be our problem. Watching everybody come down pit road for that service. And it is just this side of about time. 4 drivers stay out. The question genuinely becomes at this stage in the race, what do they know that nobody else knows? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
They have to have some kind of secret sauce or know where the bodies are buried to want to stay out there. Nope, just kidding. They're coming down. Combs, Lingerfelt, Hamilton, and Stutzman all down pit road.
As well, Joshua Valier back on the racetrack here. And he's got the double natural Seth Berger right behind him. Dan Park, I was kind of curious to see if Dan Park got that speeding penalty, but he did not. We got trucks on the apron. Top 6 right there. Joshua Valier, Seth Berger, Dan Park trading positions right now. Another driver with connection issues. And that outside line is fading.
And fading fast as the 3 and the 94 can't keep up with the 77 and the 7. An interesting development here in that top 6. As they're all just running together, logging laps. And these, look, even Giordano here at the rear end of this little group, he's almost got a better shot than everybody. He's got just enough room that if they should wreck themselves or get themselves into a situation in front, he can swing out and get around.
Yeah, I like that strategy. He's just far enough back to catch the draft, but yet close enough. Oh, there he goes. He's going to suck it right up to the back bumper of Max Service.
Max Service, that's something that they offer on OnlyFans, right?
21 left to go. Dan Park back in the lead, and he's got Byers right along with him there in second position. And Dan Park going to dive down to the inside, leave Byers all alone.
Byer hung out to dry like yesterday's dirty underwear. He's going to ride the high side and sink like a stone. Daniel Park leads the way now. And after this top 6, there's a 7.3 second difference back to Kyle Lingerfeld, who leads that second group. So really, we've got 2 defined packs and this little 2-truck tandem between Jonathan Byer and Doug Solmas. So 3 groupings altogether. I don't really see, let's see here, what do we got here? Yeah, there's poor Ben Morrow. That is, look, I feel so bad for Ben, driving that 000 back here all by his lonesome out of Chambersburg, PA. That is a lonely ride when, put a good podcast on and start logging laps. You know what I'm saying?
I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, seen the movie. I mean, just put on a good podcast. Maybe you listen to Dale Jr. Download.
I'm a fan. I haven't listened to this week's DJ yet. Also, bless your heart, not bad. You know what? Okay, I'm biased.
Have you listened to that yet?
Bless your heart? Oh my God, yeah. Love it. She calls him Ralph. I love that she calls him Ralph. You know why?
Okay. Yes, because that's his government-given name.
Yeah, I love it. And she calls him Ralph to his face.
So what I want to know is how deep do you and your lady get into the discussions? Because it's almost like the same fights that you guys have. It's the same fight that me and my wife have.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Dale Jr. is just like every other man in America. And bless your heart with Amy Earnhardt is a testament to that. She makes him human. Taking a look back here, Jeremiah Stutzman now taking over the lead in the Menards 88. He's got the 11 of Gary Clune all over his rear bumper. Stutzman and Clune really knotted up, and they're starting to break apart behind them. That's going to fall apart in short order. Kevin Thompson is the last driver in that pack, and he's falling off. And I mean, there's a quarter second between Lingerfeld and Thompson, and he's got to keep his foot in it and be right on the bumper of the 65, and he's not pulling it off.
No, absolutely not. The pit crews on pit road have done everything they can do. Now it's up to the drivers to do everything they can do. And I mean, it's been a total team effort to this point.
Well, and again, it takes a lot of patience from the perspective of the driver. I mean, these guys are out here, all night long, busting their hump. And here's a couple of, amateurs. That's you and me, for those keeping track at home. But there's amateurs here commenting on them. Hey, I have no right to talk. I could never do a better job.
You did fairly well in your last start at Daytona.
That was the Coke Zero 400 last year at Daytona in August. And that simply confirmed to me that I belonged here in the broadcast booth. I finished 21st out of a 40-car field. 21st out of a 40-car field is not awful after being out of the car at that point for a year and a half.
I think to get back in the form, in the driving form, you would have to do one whole season. Nonetheless, with 15 laps to go, we got a B main on our hands, essentially. Making 14 laps to go. Dan Park has definitely parked it out in front of that 7 truck of Joshua Baye, and he's doling now. But insert the double natural Seth Berger into the mix, and these guys are all single filed out. Probably more than likely the whole top 10 is single filed out.
With 14 laps to go, I just got a little an announcement. For Father's Appreciation Day on June 15th in South Philadelphia. They are shorts. I think they're swimming trunks. How do they know what size I wear?
They're always
Even
listening.
If I was going to Father's Day at the ballpark. They're board
13 to
shorts.
go.
I don't know what that means. Is that a thing? Do I wear those to swim?
Maybe.
I'm a very old man. I wear trunks. Personally, I'd like to get one of those single-piece swimsuits with the red and white stripes on them.
Now you're
Dress me
kicking it
up
about
like
old school.
Dress me up like a Twizzler and send me in. Those kids will get out of the friggin' way. I kid you not. So during spring training, go to a water park in Cape Coral, Florida, because why not? It was the only day that week I didn't watch baseball. So we go down there, and there is a slide. There's 3 of them. There's one that had like a tube-ish, then one that did one of these, hills with like stops in the middle of it. And then there's one that just goes straight down. I rode the one that had a little tube, and it takes you off. It takes you down like a normal incline and then drops you to what I assumed was to be my death. The G-force of my fat behind ripping down this thing, I mean, I thought I was going to high-five Dale at the end. I did not belong up there. By the way, at the time, I was more than 20 pounds. Actually, we're just about reaching that 30-pound mark, which excites me. But I was basically just under 335 pounds. The weight limit was 300. And when the guy looked at me, I just kept it pushing because, as you know, when OSHA tests something, they always test it 30% higher than what its rated weight is. So I figured 30% higher is about 450. 30% higher.
You did the math.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that it was actually safe.
Well, right now, the only thing that's safe on
basically
this race
400
car.
Basically, the real weight limit would be 400 pounds. I figured I was fine.
I mean, you had, what?
There's water at the bottom. That way, if I started bleeding, just rinse it away.
Oh, I mean, there's water at the bottom. I don't think that Florida would be ready for Alan and Dave.
No, they're used to big white guys wandering around. It's fine. 10 laps to go. When we come back to the line, it's going to be 9 laps to go. One final time, we're going to step aside and pay some bills on Sim Racing Media. When we come back, the finale of opening night here in the Outlaws Sim Series Truck Series, live at Daytona International Speedway.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh my
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway, where we are 5 laps to go. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you in the Sim Racing Media Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Want to welcome everybody in as it is opening night here in the Outlaws Sim Series Truck Series. Daniel Park with control of the field. He's got Joshua Ballier and Seth Berger in tow. But right now, any one of these top 6 drivers has a chance, and really even 8.5 seconds back if those top 6 find a way to wreck, and they probably will on that final lap. Brandon Combs still has a shot at that. As we come back to the line, they're already starting to get a little chippy here, if I do say so myself. And I don't think it's too early to get chippy. When you're 4 laps to go, you've got to get yourself positioned.
4 laps to go in the double natural. Going to the outside and bringing his teammate right along with them. Seth Berger, Max Service to the outside. Do they have enough trucks to go with them? This thing is far from over, even though we're 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go with those popsicle sticks in the air. They haul it down into turn number 1. Daniel Park with control of the field. He's got the 7 now of Joshua Ballier and the 77 of Seth Berger. Sniffing around, drivers looking all over the place. I can't even find a good place that we can hang from here. I want to get as much of this in as I can because I don't want to miss one single thing. Daniel Park with the 3 machine, with the Nilla Wafer Fig Newton Nutter Butter Chevrolet Silverado just ahead of the 7. And now the deuce of Josh Fox almost throwing a block. He's a lap down. The popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Watch that high line. Watch them run. Here comes the 7 and the 77. The 3 on the low side. The 2 of Josh Fox kind of playing spoiler, getting in the way of the 56. Another lap truck gets out of the way below the yellow line. The 56 now gets out of the way. He smells trouble. The 3 going for the win with the 2 of Josh Fox down a lap, opens the door for the 21 of Aiden Giordano to get a good clean run at him. Now the 2 holding off the 7. The 3 comes in to the tri-oval and they wreck at the very last second, but Daniel Park picks up the win. Joshua Ballier and Aiden Giordano going to round out your podium. Congratulations to Daniel Park as he picks up the win here on opening night at Daytona International Speedway. Joshua Ballier, as I had mentioned, as well as Aiden Giordano, going to join him on the podium. Matthew Byers and Max Service round out your top 5, while Seth Berger, Brandon Combs, Kyle Lingerfelt, Joshua Reese, and Jeremiah Stutzman make up your top 10. What a race, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, this had everything we wanted and more. But congratulations to Daniel Park as he parks it on the victory lane. And a congratulatory bump there by Giordano. As the 3 truck's going to get ready to burn it down. Here in the front stretch of the tri-oval. He's going to put it in neutral, pop the clutch, and away we go.
Dan Park, it's Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
I do.
Buddy, listen, if you're going to get that first win of the season, why don't you make it the first race of the season here at Daytona International? What a job, man. What a job.
That was intense. I didn't think I was going to get it with Mal and them behind me.
No, but here's the thing. I mean, the 2 of Josh Fox was back there almost playing spoiler to hold everybody away from you. So, listen, you owe him a favor, no matter what it happens to be. I mean, you ran a perfect race. You were our biggest mover of the race at plus 16 after qualifying in 17th. I mean, you can't do much more than gain the most amount of spots and bring home the checkered flag.
Yeah, it was definitely up and down race. I got to apologize to my teammate Aiden. I definitely wrecked him to cause one of the cautions. But it was just a bad push. I wasn't trying to wreck him, that's for sure.
Hey, I get it, and that's really good sportsmanship on your part, to check in with him, here at this point in the race. But, I mean, again, it's opening night here in the Outlaw Sim Series, and, I mean, you guys put on one heck of a show. I mean, I know we were impressed here in the broadcast booth. I hope the fans at home were as excited and impressed as we were. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done tonight here on the machine?
I got to thank my teammates at Josh Fox Motorsports. All of them helped me. Aiden, Josh, Reese. Like, it's a great team to be with. I got to thank Mal for help pushing me up there, keeping me up there. All my races are dedicated to my grandma. I lost her at the beginning of April, the end of March. So all my races are dedicated to her. Second win in 3 weeks I can dedicate to her. I can't complain.
Hey, man, listen. Hats off to you, man, especially for winning one for your grandmother. And I'm sorry for your loss. I've been there more than once. I totally understand what you went through and what you're still going through. But congratulations on the W tonight. And we will see you next week.
Yep, I'll be back.
That the voice of Dan Park, our winner here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. And next up here on the interview list, I believe you have him with you now, is Joshua Ballier.
Joshua Ballier, what a good run out 6 spots, but fell one spot short. What more could you need out of the truck to possibly get by Dan Park?
I don't know. We tried about all we could up there on the top. Seth kind of got a little bit overheated, and we didn't really do the swap properly. So maybe if the swap got a little bit done better, but I'm just not really a whole lot. Like there wasn't much momentum like being got on the outside there for some reason. So I think gave it the best shot, and Dan won. So good on him.
Yeah, definitely. But you led like I want to say 20 or 30 laps of this race, and you finished second. So congratulations on that. But before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done there on the 7 truck?
I guess just my just like thank the homies I'm racing with, Seth and Max, and thanks Adam for putting on the league, and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, well, congratulations on that second place finish, and we'll see you next week.
See you.
That's the voice of Joshua Ballier. And last but certainly not least, on our podium, Aiden Giordano. Hey, Aiden, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Aiden, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
And last but certainly not least, Dave has his microphone muted. But last but certainly not least.
How does that sound? Better?
Yes, except it's muted again.
Aiden, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hello.
Buddy, listen, big night for you tonight is now I've got this thing tripped out. Big night for you. I mean, you qualified 6th, you finished 3rd. I know that, your teammate, wanted to apologize for wrecking you earlier in the race, but still, a great performance tonight for the 21. How do you feel tonight?
Oh, it feels great. I've never wrecked twice and worked my way back up to the top 5 in any race. So when I wreck twice, I'm usually done for the night. But I got lucky with the damage that I had from both incidents. I did have a little suspension damage, but I was able to make it work. But it was a great race. I had fun. Everybody, hats off to everybody in the front.
Yeah, overall, a great run tonight for you and everybody else. I mean, a lot of hard work. And I mean, the season's literally only just getting underway. I know that next week, we're looking forward to Auto Club Speedway and then Bristol after that. What are you looking forward to most at Auto Club as we get this season moving?
Auto Club, I'm looking for redemption. Last time we were at Auto Club, I finished 2nd in the championship race there. So redemption is definitely the key factor for next week.
Hey, I respect it. Absolutely 1,000%. Listen, man, congrats on the P3 win tonight. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and tip your helmet to?
I want to thank everybody at Josh Fox Motorsports. Dan, Reese, Josh, they put together such a great team every week, week in, week out. It's my 3rd season with all of them. They do such a great job with how they race and how we, strategize throughout the season. So hats off to all of them. I want to thank Outback and everybody over there.
All right, my friend, listen, congratulations. We'll see you next week out there in California.
All right, thank you, guys.
Well, Alan, first one in the books for us tonight here in the Outlaw Sim Series, and what a show they put on.
Yeah, absolutely. This race had everything and a lot more than we were looking for. There was a lot of love and touching and squeezing going on here as these guys are battling their way up to the front. But before we get out of here and head to the West Coast, Dave, we got to go over those race results.
And go over them we shall. Taking a look here. Daniel Park, of course, captures the checkered flag here at Daytona International Speedway. Daniel Park is joined on the podium by Joshua Ballier and Aiden Giordano. Matthew Byers comes home in 4th with Max Service rounding out your top 5. Seth Berger, Brandon Combs, Kyle Lingerfelt, Joshua Reese, and Jeremiah Stutzman round out the top 10. 11th goes to Gary Clune, while 12th is Kevin Thompson. Morgan Sterling and Doug Somas come home one in front of the other in 13th and 14th with Jonathan Byer. Adam Gardner, Merlin Duran, Ben Morrow finishes in 18th position. And there it goes. Thank you for moving. Josh Fox, Devin Smith, Forrest Hamilton Jr., Anthony Hamilton, Adam Spear, Ben Park, and Matthew Setzer gets just 500th of a lap in. Ben Park gets 1 lap in, and they will finish dead last night. Somebody had to do it, and obviously they were setting themselves up to be them. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in on our maiden voyage here with the Outlaw Sim Series. I'm Dave Regal. He's Alan Bergen, and tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.